Tonight on CTV News, lunar liftoff.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
There were no problems, and boom, it's exciting.
Fly them to the moon. For the first time, a Canadian is heading into deep space. What's next for the historic Artemis II mission?
Nobody is excited about this process. Certainly, I'm not, and First Nations leadership are not.
The growing public backlash against legislation on Indigenous rights. The Premier's plan to amend DRIPA and the showdown he could be facing.
It's perhaps not the best place to stop your vehicle and take pictures.
Cherry Tree traffic jam. Dozens of drivers get more than a pretty photo for capturing this rite of spring.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Godspeed, Artemis II. Let's go.
A moment in space exploration. The Artemis II launched late this afternoon, the first manned mission to deep space in more than 50 years. Canadian Jeremy Hansen and 3 other astronauts will spend the next 10 days on a 2 million kilometer journey that will take them around the far side of the moon and back. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We are following breaking news. At 3:35, the Artemis II mission successfully launched into space. And it's a proud moment for Canada. For the first time, a Canadian astronaut is hurtling to the moon. There were some tense moments this afternoon as they had to briefly stop the launch countdown, but then it was all systems go. CTV's Craig Krause joins us live from the H.R. MacMillan Space Center, where hundreds gathered to witness the launch. Craig, what was the mood like there?
Well, Mi Jung, was both excitement and nerves. I was inside the auditorium with around 200 others, eyes glued on the screen to take in that historic moment. And when it did happen, it did not disappoint. Take a listen.
3, 2, 1.
Jeremy Hansen, along with 3 Americans, blasted off. Artemis II marks the first time in more than 5 decades that NASA has sent a crewed mission toward the moon. Hansen is making history as the first Canadian and first non-American to travel into deep space, a feat made possible in part by Canada's role in the Artemis program. Here's what spectators told me moments after takeoff.
I was definitely kind of nervous, wanting everything to go well for these astronauts. They've worked so hard.
Goodness, I've been waiting for this my whole life. As a 3-year-old, I watched the Space Shuttle Challenger take off.
There were no problems, and boom, it's exciting.
I rushed over here after work on my bike just to witness it here, and with everyone, my girls here. It was. I've never seen something like it.
And Hansen will be in space and the crew for 10 days slingshotting around the moon before arriving back here on Earth on April 10th, and they'll be landing in the Pacific Ocean. Mi Jung.
Live tonight. Thank you, Craig. Now to the potential showdown between First Nations leaders in BC and the Premier over proposed changes to the Declaration on the Rights of Aboriginal Peoples Act. David Eby says amendments are non-negotiable and will be pushed into law this spring. First Nations reject the changes, and as CTV's Rob Buffum reports, a growing number of British Columbians oppose the legislation altogether.
Indigenous rights continue to dominate BC politics, including Wednesday's question period.
Is fear-mongering. That is what they fall back on, because they've got nothing else to say, and that should scare every British Columbian, and we are seeing that today.
Richmond Mayor and Council have now sent letters seeking legal certainty that the Cowichan tribes won't try to take private land, following a controversial court ruling last August. It found Aboriginal title in a swath of land was senior to fee simple private property rights. Premier Eby says the province and Cowichan tribes have been negotiating and already agreed private property isn't at risk.
Private property is not part of this negotiation, full stop. I'm happy to provide that assurance to Mayor Brody.
Not good enough, says the mayor.
They want us to feel better about it, say so, put it in writing, make it legally binding.
The Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples Act, known as DRIPA, is 2019 legislation seen as central to recent court cases favoring Indigenous rights, including the Cowichan Tribes case, plus a subsequent one involving mineral rights. Premier Eby has pledged to amend DRIPA to weaken its language.
This is a serious matter. British Columbians are concerned. I am concerned. That's why our government is taking action.
An Angus Reid poll shows only 30% of those surveyed think DRIPA is a necessary step for reconciliation. And a majority now think it goes too far in removing provincial rights over land and minerals, an uptick from last August.
It does speak to the fact that we've seen a 9 percentage point increase in the number of British Columbians who are expressing this and feeling this way.
The Premier is meeting Thursday with First Nations leaders to further discuss proposed changes to the law. Indigenous leaders maintain no amendments are acceptable.
The amendments essentially takes it as close as you can get to repealing the legislation.
Still, the Premier says amendments will be tabled before the session ends in late May.
Rob Buffum joins us live from Victoria. Rob, what do First Nations leaders say will happen if the amendments do go ahead as the Premier has promised?
Well, Mi Jung, they say things like lawsuits and protests are certainly on the table, and they intend to use every tool in the toolbox was the expression I heard today. So it will certainly be interesting to see what the mood is like tomorrow after the virtual meeting between First Nations leaders and Premier Eby. Mi Jung.
Rob Buffum reporting live tonight from Victoria. The push to make sure more people have a family doctor or nurse practitioner seems to be paying off. The NDP government says more than 3/4 of people in BC now have a primary care provider. But as CTV's Martin McMahon reports, the opposition argues the numbers don't tell the full story.
Roughly 4 years ago, nearly 1 million people in BC had no family doctor. Now, after a system overhaul, the NDP government says 77% have a primary care provider.
It takes pressure off of our emergency rooms. It's someone they can call, someone they can engage with on chronic health conditions and prevent a serious condition from getting worse, resulting in hospitalization.
But the Conservatives say the numbers don't tell the full story, and that the goalposts keep shifting.
Well, they've been constantly recommitting. I guess the Premier has now kicked it to 2027 for everyone in BC that wants a doctor to have a doctor. We know that 2 in 5 physicians are going to be retiring over the next 5 years. These numbers are not getting better, and the government's trying to hide that.
The province is also providing an update on its multi-million-dollar cross-border recruitment efforts. Over the last year, 2,900 U.S. health professionals have applied. As of February, more than 500 have accepted job offers in BC. Among them, pediatrician Dr. Victoria Wilkins.
I was in sort of the very first batch of people who got to apply and register through the new streamlined credentialing process that happened last May, and I am so grateful that that pathway opened up. That was really important.
By the province's own admission, this isn't job done. The Premier insists making sure everyone gets a primary care provider remains the goal. Still, according to these latest figures, the government now says BC has the most doctors per capita in the country. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
CTV News has learned that a mobile overdose prevention service is starting up on the grounds of Abbotsford Regional Hospital later this month. Fraser Health says the service will save lives. Critics, however, say the health authority is focusing on the wrong thing. CTV's Michelle Bernaro has more.
At the Abbotsford Hospital, there's no smoking or vaping allowed on the grounds. But an internal email from Fraser Health says that beginning April 22nd, harm reduction workers with Lookout Housing will be operating a mobile overdose prevention service. When contacted by CTV News, Fraser Health said that after consultations and reviewing data, it picked a location where the service was most needed.
We did our best to go with the location which worked for everyone in the consultation process, including hospital leadership.
According to the email, the service will be set up near the emergency department ambulance bays and will include a van similar to this, offering a space for witnessed injection. There will also be a tent where people can access witness inhalation services. The same service is already provided at several other hospitals in the region.
We have virtually eliminated overdose deaths in overdose prevention sites and supervised consumption sites so we know that they work.
But critics say what's really needed for those struggling with addiction is more access to treatment.
If you want to save lives, should start with going into detox.
The local MLA says Fraser Health's approach is all wrong.
What the evidence is showing in other provinces is that actually where these mobile centers, when they disappeared, that actually the re-entering into treatment and into detox actually went up, not down. So the early evidence is suggesting that these things are actually counterproductive.
We look at this as a continuum of care. Harm reduction is one slice of it, and we know that overdose prevention services have some of the strongest evidence for saving lives.
Fraser Health says it expects even more people to use the service than did at its former Abbotsford location, which saw 3,400 visits in 2025. Fraser Health says that while it did not consult residents living nearby, it did consider community feedback.
I'm just worried about how many people they could start just using in our parking lot here. But at the same time, I do have a heart, and there are so many homeless camps around here, and they do need a safe place to go.
The health authority will spend about $412,000 to fund the operation and says the hospital campus has good security. Michelle Brunoro, CTV News, Abbotsford.
Vancouver will keep its freeze on net new supportive housing projects. One city councillor tried to reverse the pause but was defeated by the ABC majority. As CTV's Isabella Zavarisi reports, Vancouver isn't the only place where such projects are facing mounting pushback.
For 15 years, this supportive housing building in Vancouver's Dunbar neighborhood has been a lifeline for some of the city's most vulnerable.
Many people here, living here, do live with mental illness. So, supportive housing, it really is a great example of that wraparound supports that we often talk about, but sometimes here is missing. This is a fantastic program for us.
But it wasn't an easy road to success. The project faced opposition back in 2011.
Those fears went away. We heavily engaged up front. There was a community advisory committee. I think many people just in the community didn't know what supportive housing was.
Those who work in this space want more housing built, but some municipalities have pulled back. Last year, Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim introduced a pause on net new supportive housing, saying other cities needed to step up.
We already have enough challenges in the city of Vancouver. We have crumbling SRO stock that is inhabitable. It's not compassionate. It's not dignified. We need to repair that.
On Wednesday, Vote Vancouver councillor Rebecca Bly tried to reverse the decision.
I think it's time to show leadership on this, reverse that ban, and start addressing the homelessness crisis we have before us today.
Her motion was defeated. Pushback from those against supportive housing has been fierce, stalling projects in Burnaby and Richmond.
We have made the decision as a council to terminate the project.
Those in the nonprofit housing sector say resistance isn't unique.
Where there has been community opposition, that seems to get reversed once the project is in, it's established, and people are being supported in their homes and in community.
Housing advocates say they're disappointed with the direction Vancouver is heading in and whose voices aren't being prioritized.
Supportive housing is a response to supporting people that are experiencing homelessness, and if we say no, we're saying it's okay not to do anything to support those people.
Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
A huge price tag could be on the way for Vancouver's parks as a new capital plan proposes more than $1.3 billion in upgrades. The motion heading to the Vancouver Park Board next week lays out big investments across the city, including hundreds of millions for seawall repairs, new parks, off-leash dog areas, and upgraded sports facilities. Another portion would go toward restoring natural areas like Stanley Park's Lost Lagoon, while the largest share is targeted at aquatic facilities and community centers, including a new Britannia Community Center in collaboration with the Canucks. The plan also includes funding for projects at places like the Jericho Sailing Center, Van Dusen, and the Dr. Sun Yat-sen Garden. A life sentence was handed down today for the man convicted in a 2017 contract killing in Surrey. Brandon Teixeira led authorities on an international manhunt, but was eventually returned to BC, where a jury convicted him after a trial lasting nearly 6 months. CTV's Ben Nesbitt has more from BC Supreme Court in New Westminster.
When authorities were closing in on him in the fall of 2018, Brandon Teixeira fled to the United States. He was eventually captured and brought back to BC, where the legal process has taken years to play out. But Wednesday, roughly 8.5 years after the deadly shooting, he was sentenced to life in prison. Crown's theory was that in October of 2017, Teixeira, then 26 years old, was offered $80,000 to kill 28-year-old Nicholas Cabra. They believe Teixeira lured Cabra to a secluded area in South Surrey to discuss the sale of fireworks. They said Teixeira and another man who later testified against him arrived in a Jeep, while Cabra and a woman who could only be identified as Person A arrived in their own vehicle. Crown said after a brief discussion, Teixeira opened fire, shooting Cabra as he went to get back into the passenger seat of Person A's car. Cabra was struck multiple times but managed to briefly get away. But Teixeira, whose gun jammed, caught up and stabbed him several times. Crown says Person A was also hit with 2 shots to the leg and fled in her vehicle. Teixeira was charged in late 2018 but had fled to the United States. Believed to be living in this home near Orville, California for over a year, he was eventually arrested in dramatic fashion in December of 2019. The first-degree murder charge comes with an automatic life sentence with no chance of parole for 25 years. But Crown also sought a life sentence for the attempted murder of Person A, saying Teixeira was aware she would be there that night and had previously inquired about getting more money to kill her along with Cabra. The judge ultimately decided that 14 years to run concurrently with the murder sentence was appropriate. In a victim impact statement, Person A said, "My sense of safety, my peace, and my freedom were taken from me. What you did to me was disgusting, especially because I did not have anything to do with that whole situation." Teixeira attempted to have his convictions thrown out, saying trial delays violated his charter rights. That appeal was denied. He declined to speak Wednesday when given the opportunity. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, New Westminster.
Testimony has wrapped in the second-degree murder trial of a man accused of stabbing another man to death outside a downtown Vancouver Starbucks. CTV's Ben Milger has been in court for most of the trial and has more on what the judge must weigh in deciding the accused's fate. A warning, some of the details in this story may be disturbing to some.
At the beginning of the trial, the Crown said proving Inderdeep Singh Gosal intended to kill Paul Schmidt would be the primary issue in this case. Gosal's mental health at the time has been the focus of much of the evidence and testimony. Gosal and Schmidt did not know each other when a verbal altercation became physical on the patio of Starbucks at Granville and West Pender in March of 2023. Schmidt died as a result of 6 stab wounds. For the defense, Dr. Johan Brink testified Gosal has schizophrenia and experiences paranoid delusions. The Crown called Dr. Rakesh Lamba, also a forensic psychiatrist, as a rebuttal witness. He also diagnosed Gosal as suffering from schizophrenia, but questioned whether it played a role in the killing of Schmidt. In my mind, the likely explanation here is that Mr. Gosal would like to point to a psychiatric explanation for his behavior. The defense does not deny Gosal killed Schmidt, but want the judge to make a finding of manslaughter. The judge will weigh the evidence of both experts, but at the end of the day, the defense only needs to create reasonable doubt about whether Gosal intended to kill Schmidt.
In a case like this, the burden of proof always rests with the Crown. It does not shift to the defense at any point. The burden of proof here is the highest burden at law, which is proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Closing arguments are scheduled for 2 days in May, and then Justice Kathleen Kerr will decide Gosal's fate. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
It is time to take a look outside. Here's a live shot of a soggy gray Robson Street. It's 6:16, and you did say this would be more of a one-day event.
Yes, that's
this rain,
right? For the first day of April, April showers bring May flowers, right? So we definitely need the rain. It is still wet outside. Here's a look at temperatures across the lower mainland. On the milder side, we're looking at 9 degrees in Chilliwack, 8 in Abbotsford, 7 degrees in Pitt Meadows. You're looking at 9 degrees in White Rock as well. So as we head through the overnight, showers will continue dropping down to 6. Tomorrow it warms up, a slight chance of early morning showers drying up with some sunny breaks and a high of 12.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Plan, book, and safeguard your journeys. Explore the possibilities at expediacruises.ca.
And the long weekend is looking nice and warm. I've got those details coming up.
Everyone happy to hear that. All right, thanks, Anne. The province is walking back its electric vehicle mandate, also coming up.
Crazy. One just has to think of how they managed to get it up there and how they plan on getting it down.
Suspended in Squamish, a VW Beetle prank that has the hallmark of a UBC engineering stunt. The area now closed off, so how will they get it down? When CTV News continues, stay with us. Drivers along the Sea to Sky Highway have been doing a double take. A Volkswagen Beetle is suspended high on a mountainside near Shannon Falls. There are few answers about how it got there or how it's coming down. But as CTV's Kevin Chirac reports, there are clues on who may be responsible.
This Squamish campsite comes with a view of stunning Shannon Falls, but now something else has taken the spotlight.
Crazy. One just has to think of how they managed to get it up there.
Workers at the site first noticed the vintage Volkswagen Bug on the side of Papoose Mountain Monday morning.
A couple hours later, I have campers calling and saying, hey, why is there a red car up on the mountain?
Rick Poisson says the area is a popular climbing and hiking site and that he noticed something strange the night before it appeared.
Sunday evening, I noticed some suspicious activity, some climbers arriving back to the parking lot late at night.
If the beat-up Bug with a giant E on it looks familiar, that's because we've seen similar stunts before, linked to UBC engineering students, including a car placed on the UBC clock tower in 2014 and a failed attempt at the Second Narrows Bridge that resulted in 5 students being arrested.
It's often months of planning, obviously lots of rigorous math. Rush week of my first year.
UBC engineering alum Christian Kyle wouldn't admit to taking part in any stunts, but says they have a strong history and tradition at the school and are aimed to be harmless.
So most of the time, the pranks don't actually involve permanent property damage. And if they do, something's gone wrong. That's a core tenet, is that it's not just mischief or breaking something. It's doing something, ideally a feat of engineering that's impressive and shows the public that UBC engineers do have the ability to do something really cool.
Authorities, however, aren't impressed. The Environment and Parks Ministry has closed the area due to safety concerns and is working with Squamish RCMP, adding, if the car is not secured properly, it could fall and cause serious harm to visitors. Its removal may also pose a risk to those conducting the work to remove it. The UBC Engineering Undergraduate Society says it was not involved. Back at the campsite, workers say the car is becoming a new tourist attraction.
Everyone in town seems to really like it up there.
But they understand it won't be here for long.
Might be a little bit risky if it ever came down on the highway, of course.
The car is expected to be removed within a week. Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Squamish.
A big change for policing in the Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows areas as one RCMP detachment splits into 2. The Ridge Meadows RCMP has now been divided to give both communities their own police service. The change took effect today with the province approving the split back in 2021. RCMP say core services will continue without disruption. Local mayors welcome the move, saying it will bring more dedicated resources and a stronger community focus. When taking photos of cherry blossoms can end up costing you a ticket. We'll explain. And
so none of this is surprising to us.
Ahead of a review of the Canada-US-Mexico trade deal, the U.S. flags Ottawa's Buy Canadian policy as a trade irritant. What else it sees as a barrier to exports? That's ahead. Body cam video captures the moment a stolen beer truck slams into an empty police cruiser in the States. Officers used pepper balls to get the suspect out. The man was arrested and charged with multiple crimes, including attempted murder, auto theft, and operating that beer truck while intoxicated. The province is scaling back its zero-emission vehicle sales target, bringing BC's plan more in line with Ottawa's.
We've changed the target for 2035, consistent with recent changes made by the federal government to their programs, to 75% by 2035.
BC's original plan called for 100% zero-emission vehicle sales by 2035. The province is also removing the planned ban on new gas-powered vehicle sales after 2035 and pledging more flexibility for automakers. Alongside the policy changes, BC is investing $19 million to build 75 new EV charging projects, including stations in Vancouver and Richmond. The federal government's Buy Canadian policy has been flagged in a U.S. government report as a significant barrier to American exports. The policy was put into place last December to ensure Canadian bids are prioritized in government contracts worth $25 million or more. Even though the U.S. has a similar provision, the American trade representative cited Canada's version as a trade irritant. The Minister for Canada-U.S. Trade downplayed the list of irritants, saying talks are continuing.
There was a high-level meeting this week in Washington between senior officials from Canada and the United States to discuss these and other issues. So none of this is surprising to us.
Other so-called trade irritants identified in the new U.S. report include the removal of American liquor off many provincial store shelves. Canada's Online Streaming Act also made the list, as did the supply management system, which restricts the import of American dairy, poultry, and eggs into this country. If you're planning a spring or summer flight, get ready to pay more thanks to the war on Iran. Also coming up.
I'm sure, every driver has, when they get stopped or get tickets, they will have some kind of reason or excuse.
When cherry trees bloom into illegal behavior from drivers. The message from Richmond police as they hand out dozens of tickets. That's ahead.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch. A blooming magnolia tree provides a pop of color on a gray, overcast day in New Westminster.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
It was a very special day for this Vancouver aquarium resident. Kunik the sea otter celebrated her 10th rescue-versary. She got to enjoy lots of treats, including some sushi, and lounge in her own personal pool until her fellow sea otters came to join in on the fun, that is, and turn her private spa day into a pool party. The gorgeous cherry blossoms all over Richmond are creating an ugly situation for Mounties. Despite clear no-stopping signs on major roads, dozens of drivers daily can't resist breaking the law to take a selfie. And as CTV's Sinjin Alexander reports, their perfect pictures come with a price.
Beautiful, all right, and maybe also intoxicating. Because Larry Berg Flight Path Park has become photo op central. So enticing that those who lost the battle for a place to park figure, the shoulder will do.
The side of the road, especially on a major roadway like this one, is perhaps not the best place to stop your vehicle and take pictures.
Thing is, Mounties have caught on and blossomed into experts on Russ Baker Way, complete with ticket pads. When some 50 cars were parked illegally on the weekend, there are plenty of signs. At least 30 violation tickets were issued in just 2 shifts. Others had their vehicles towed away.
I'm sure, every driver has, when they get stopped or get tickets, they will have some kind of reason or excuse, right?
Highway signs offer some relief, but are not an antidote. Because during the week, those enchanting blooms were added again, seducing drivers into another Parker-Mountie reunion.
Got a ticket?
Yeah! Simply put, police say the side of the road may be pretty, but precarious. This is a high-speed highway, and even a quick look is risky business.
If you want to take pictures of cherry blossoms, I'm sure there are many other places. For example, if you're in Richmond, I've been told Dairy Point Park is a very nice place to, lots of cherry blossoms there and lots of parking.
He's right. What a setting. In other words, avoid temptation and unexpected production costs by taking that show off the road. Sinjin Alexander, CTV News, Richmond.
And do they know there are other cherry trees? Just a few other ones in Metro Vancouver.
That you can park and take your time and take your selfie, not on the side of the road.
That's true. And Gary Point is stunning.
And David Lamb and so many areas. I'm pretty sure there's lots of websites that point out all the great areas for cherry blossoms. All right, not a great day today to take a picture or two at the cherry blossoms because we have been seeing rain, but we said goodbye to March, and this is how the month of March fared. Not too bad at all. Seasonal highs as well as seasonal lows, and above average rainfall amounts at 125.4 millimeters of rain. The monthly average for March, 104.1 millimeters. And the hot spot was Lillooet today at 14.8 degrees under cloudy skies, not close to the record set back in 1941 at 23.3. So there's that system bringing in the wet weather. That will continue as we head through the overnight hours. Still raining right now across the lower mainland, slowly easing to showers through the overnight into tomorrow. You'll start off with some rain for Langley, Maple Ridge, Abbotsford, and Chilliwack, but it does dry up. We'll see mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon with a few breaks here and there as well. For the Central Coast and Central Interior, you'll see lots of sunshine. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Mostly sunny skies for Port Hardy tomorrow with a high of 12. You'll also see 12 degrees for Campbell River and Comox under a mix of sun and cloud. A beautiful day for the South Island from Tofino right down to Victoria. Looking at temperatures between 11 and 13 degrees. A mix of sun and cloud for the Sunshine Coast with a high of 12. A few showers to start off the day for Squamish before you see some sunny breaks. 12 degrees as well. It's mostly cloudy skies for Whistler and 9. And for us across the lower mainland, mostly cloudy skies, a few breaks. You'll start off with some showers and cloudy skies for eastern sections of Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. Temperatures between 11 and 12 degrees. Heading into Good Friday, we'll see overcast conditions at 11. And then a warm up on the way. Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud and 14. 15 degrees for Easter Sunday. 17 degrees for Easter Monday under a mix of sun and cloud. Mostly sunny skies on Tuesday at 13. And then as we head into Wednesday, partly cloudy skies and 11. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So as promised, just today's rain. Slight chance early morning tomorrow, but dries up and warms up quite nicely.
Very nice. Yeah, lucky for those who took the Monday off as well.
Exactly.
All right, thanks,
You're
Ann.
welcome.
We know the PNE Amphitheatre will be a fan zone during World Cup. Now another location has been announced as a fan hub.
As long as the situation is uncertain in the Middle East, we do not anticipate that airfare prices will be decreasing.
And expect to pay more for flights as the price of jet fuel soars. That's not the only factor driving up prices. We'll explain ahead. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar. Oil down $1.26, closing the day at $100.12 a barrel. Gold gained $134. The TSX and the Dow Jones both finished the day higher, up 189 points and 224 points, respectively. The price of gas continues to soar across Metro Vancouver, reaching almost $2.19 a litre at some stations. That is an increase of 2 cents a litre from yesterday and is among the highest prices we've seen since the war in Iran began. We'll likely see a slight bit of relief tomorrow as the head of Canadians for Affordable Energy predicts we'll see prices edge down about 2 cents a litre. The conflict in the Middle East, though, has caused the price of jet fuel to double, and many airlines are now raising ticket prices. Travel agencies say if you're planning a summer holiday, expect to pay more. CTV's Pat Foran has the story.
If you've been thinking about taking an airline trip this spring or summer but haven't bought tickets yet, the Flight Center says get ready to pay more.
We have seen rising jet fuel prices driving up costs for airfare. So this will now impact Canadians.
There could be a separate line for a fuel surcharge, or it may just be a more expensive ticket. Airlines are also rerouting planes away from the conflict in the Middle East. And for some international flights, that will add hundreds of dollars per ticket.
So instead of a $1,600 flight over the Middle East through to the Philippines, you're now going to be paying around $2,000. So this is also adding to the pressures of airfare prices right now.
Some cruise ships have also started raising their prices.
I do expect a domino effect. I'm sure all the major cruise lines, including the small river boats, they will start to introduce fuel surcharges real soon.
For Canadians who have already made their summer travel plans, there's been a major increase in bookings to Portugal, the Netherlands, Italy, and Japan. Some travelers are also looking for more budget-friendly locations.
That could be South America. It can also be Central America, Panama, Belize. I personally am looking at Mexico.
Canadians are still avoiding U.S. travel, citing the political climate, border hassles, safety security concerns, and the exchange rate. There has been an increase in domestic bookings, especially in Atlantic Canada and Alberta. If the conflict continues, expect travel costs to remain high.
As long as the situation is uncertain in the Middle East, we do not anticipate that airfare prices will be decreasing.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Tech giant Apple is marking a major milestone today. The company is celebrating its 50th anniversary. It was founded on this date in 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, who signed a 2-page partnership to create the Apple Computer Company. The business is currently worth nearly $4 trillion. A major airline has just banned bare feet on board, and TransLink has just launched Compass glasses, the latest in tap-with-face technology. Just ahead. Plus, boarding blind. Adam meets a skateboarder who's seeing the world in a more positive way after going blind. Coming up on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's Carrie with a preview of your morning, Vancouver.
Could thinking like a thief help prevent auto crime in BC? Thursday on Your Morning Vancouver, we speak with crime prevention experts on what thieves are looking for in your vehicle as we mark Auto Crime Enforcement Month. And we'll learn more about the preparations for the UGM's annual Easter dinner this weekend and the shift in demand for compassionate care. We'll see you in the morning.
A reminder, everyone, voting opens Friday for Kraft Hockeyville, and Tumbler Ridge is in the running. The community in the foothills of the BC Rockies is one of 2 finalists. It's facing Tabor, Alberta. And on the line is a big prize. The winner will receive $250,000 for rink upgrades and the chance to host an NHL preseason game. Voting runs for 2 days, with the winner announced Saturday night during Hockey Night in Canada. We're just 71 days away from the World Cup, and we now know the Shipyards in North Vancouver will be the official fan home for Canada Soccer.
We built the Shipyards for this very purpose, about bringing people together, connecting, celebrating, and so, to be part of FIFA World Cup and all that it's going to bring to the region, this is incredible.
The Shipyards announced today as the Uber Eats Canada Soccer House during the year's World Cup. This year's World Cup. It will provide fans a chance to experience the tournament from the North Shore with athlete meet and greets and live entertainment for free. Well, from a Seth Rogen statue coming to Vancouver's West End to a transit twist you need to see to believe, many are getting in on the fun of April Fool's Day. Destination Vancouver has unveiled this commemorative statue of the actor and comedian, saying Rogen has never strayed far from his Vancouver roots, and his legacy continues to shape culture both here and beyond. And TransLink is testing out a new way to tap in with Compass glasses, boasting tap-with-face technology. TransLink is calling it the next evolution in fare payment. CEO Kevin Quinn says instead of keeping your Compass card in your wallet, now you can just keep it right on your face.
Bare feet on my flight, I'm shocked to see.
And WestJet had a little fun on April Fool's Day with this cheeky song and video. In a news release, WestJet says they are putting a ban on bare feet, and guests should fly with confidence, knowing they won't encounter anyone else's bare piggies in flight. While the video is in the spirit of April Fool's, WestJet says not to worry, as proper footwear has always been required on board.
I think they should remind people, because
Yes.
I have seen people with bare feet.
Really?
I don't know if it's enforced,
so
yes.
that should be a real commercial.
Yes, they should just play it at the beginning of the flight with the safety video, right?
Put your shoes on.
Okay, well, it's time for Homeward Bound, our weekly segment where we introduce you to furry friends from local rescues who are looking for their forever home.
That's right, and here are some pets now available to adopt from the BC SPCA.
Don't let his gray muzzle fool you. Jackson still gets the zoomies at 7 years old. This Labrador mix loves to play fetch and tug of war and enjoys both long walks and long car rides. Jackson would do well in a household with other dogs, cats, or children, as he has experience living with them all. And you can meet him now at the Burnaby branch. He seems very easygoing, doesn't
Yeah. Well, this sweet senior cat is looking for her forever home. 10-year-old Nala is described as a total love bug with a shy side. She's looking for an adult-only, calm home with a patient and attentive owner. Nala is available to adopt from the Vancouver branch.
You got to win her over, right? And finally, meet Shelby, a 3-year-old St. Bernard mix with a heart as big as her paws. Described as loyal and affectionate, along with being sweet-natured, Shelby can also be a bit nervous in loud and busy environments. She would do best in a calm home with a confident canine companion who can help show her the world isn't so scary. You can meet Shelby today at the Abbotsford branch. That face.
Oh, look at those eyes. I wonder how big Shelby will get, though. Okay, for more information, you can head to adopt.spca.bc.ca. And just before we get to the Sawatsky sign-off, Lauren, what's coming up tonight at 11:30?
Well, Mijang, we have already seen the soaring prices at the pump due to the conflict in Iran, but brace to open your wallet wider at the grocery store as well. Grocers are already reporting a spike in their cost to get goods onto shelves here in BC. And while many are trying to hold off raising prices for customers, it could soon be the only option. What that spike could look like ahead at 11:30.
All right, thanks a lot, Lauren. Finally, Adam shares the story of an Aldergrove skateboarder who lost his vision but found a passion for inspiring others and is now helping them see what's possible on tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Well, Brett Devlo's using a walker for an injury that's temporary.
It's so weird having this. I'm so used to using my white cane.
Becoming unexpectedly blind at 16 was permanent.
And I lost my vision, like that, sitting in the middle of history class.
Brett was diagnosed with a rare DNA mutation that blocks 98% of his vision.
It's like having the sun right in the middle of your sight like this. If you look left, it goes left. Look right, it goes right. And everything else is really blurry.
But it was clear nothing else would ever be the same.
We all cried for let's call it 5 minutes. And then my first words were, okay, what are we going to do?
Well, the first thing Brett wanted to do was get back on his beloved skateboard. And thanks to muscle memory, he could.
I had to be much quicker with my reflexes and be way more ready to land on my face.
Brett picked himself up after every fall, and in this video, shot about a year after going blind, he learned how to feel the space and walk the route before flying forward.
It feels great, and it makes me feel like some things don't change. I'm normal when I skate, you know?
Although, 13 years after losing his sight, Brett is finding his life is far better than normal.
I'm pretty grateful I went blind, honestly, because if I could see, I would have just been a regular small-town guy.
Instead, Brett tours Canada and the U.S. as a sponsored skateboarder known as TBK, the blind kid.
Did you see that? Because I didn't.
Works as a motivational speaker in schools and raises money to donate iPads with accessible software to children with vision loss.
Losing my vision kind of just ironically gave me the sight to see that the world is a lot bigger and there's more out there.
There's more obstacles to overcome, more people to inspire, and no more excuses, Brett says, for not achieving your goals.
Just do it. You can literally just do it. That's it.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Aldergrove.
How inspiring. I love his name, too.
TBK?
TBK.
Yeah, he's got a sense of humor about it, such a positive attitude.
It's amazing.
I know. I don't want to skateboard, period, with good vision.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's inspiring a lot of people, so good for him. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. Look at those dorsal fins peeking above the water as a pod of Pacific white-sided dolphins swim in Comox. Thanks, Ariana, for sending this amazing photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well, so email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Incredible. It seems like they were pretty close to the shore.
They were very close to shore, she said.
Amazing. All right, thanks for joining us tonight. Lauren's back tonight with CTV News at 11:30.
Good night.